a one-person, billion-dollar company. I know, it sounds like something straight out of science fiction, doesn't it? But what if I told you that it's not just possible? What if I told you that future is actually being built, like right now? Let's dive in and break down exactly how this mind-blowing shift is happening. And hey, don't just take my word for it. That's a direct quote from Sam Altman, the CEO of OpenAI, the people who were literally building this revolution. They're the ones predicting this future, a future where just one person with the right AI tools can build something of absolutely immense value. So yeah, this isn't some far-off dream. This is the next frontier of business, and it's happening fast. Okay, so how does this actually work, like in the real world? Well, as this whole thing starts to take shape, we're seeing two really clear paths pop up for this new kind of AI solopreneur. Let's dig into what they are. All right, so this is a really important distinction. On one hand, you've got what we can call the coder path. This is for your deep tech expert, the person who's building a totally new AI product from scratch. But on the other hand, and this is what we're going to focus on, you have the operator path. Now, this path isn't about coding. It's for the business-minded person, the systems thinker, the person who can orchestrate all the existing tools out there to build something huge. And I mean, without writing a single line of code. And here is the perfect example of that operator path in action. Meet Matthew Gallagher. He's a non-technical founder who created a company called Medvi. Now, check this out. He doesn't manufacture any drugs. He doesn't have a single doctor on his payroll. Nope. He just brilliantly built a system, a digital front end, that connects doctors from one company with drugs from another. He uses AI voice agents for sales, no-code tools for his website, and the result? His company is on track to make over $1 billion this year. He's the ultimate orchestrator. So look, Gallagher's story isn't just some one-off crazy anecdote. It's actually a playbook, a repeatable blueprint that pretty much anyone, even if you don't know a thing about coding, can use to build their own AI-powered business. So let's break down the core steps, shall we? It really all boils down to 3 simple but super crucial steps. Step 1, find existing demand. Don't try to create a whole new market from scratch. No, find a problem people are already desperate to solve. Step 2, digitize everything. Your entire process, from finding a customer to delivering a product, has to happen online. And step 3, price it for impulse. You want a subscription price that's low enough that people just don't even overthink it. They just say yes. So what is that impulse price? Well, obviously it's going to change depending on the market. But let's take a market like India, for example. The sweet spot there might be something like, say, 2,000 rupees a month. It's enough to build a real business, but it's not so much that it feels like a huge decision for the customer. Think of it like a premium subscription that actually solves a nagging problem for them. And here's the cool part. When you actually run the numbers, this huge, intimidating goal starts to feel, well, surprisingly real. At a price point like that, you'd only need about 12,000 subscribers. 12,000 people to build a business that's pulling in over $3 million a year. Now, that's not nothing for sure, but it's not millions of customers either. It makes the whole thing feel way more achievable, right? Okay, so we've got the framework down. But what about the idea itself? How do you find your big idea? Well, this is where things get really interesting, because we can use AI not just to operate the business, but to actually come up with the initial idea in the first place. Let me introduce you to a really powerful technique for this. It's called the Model Council. The idea is simple. Instead of just asking one AI, you give the exact same problem to a bunch of the top models. We're talking GPT-4, Claude 3, Gemini, the whole gang. Then you get them to critique and even debate each other's answers. What you end up with is a way more robust, well-thought-out idea. It's seriously like having the world's smartest board meeting, and it takes just a few seconds. So just to show you, we did exactly that. We ran this process. GPT-4 came back with an AI job search coach. Gemini suggested an AI spoken English coach. Both pretty good ideas. But then Claude 3 chimed in with something that taps into a huge, highly emotional market, an AI dating and riz coach. And when we asked for a consensus, all the models agreed. The dating coach had the most potential, and crucially, people would be very willing to pay for it. So, you know what? For the rest of this explainer, let's run with that. Let's build out the AI dating coach. All right, we have our big idea, the AI dating coach. The next big question is, how on earth do you market and grow this thing with absolutely 0 employees? Well, that is where the AI growth engine comes into play. And this leads us right to a classic problem that every single solopreneur faces. You know you need amazing, high-quality ads to get customers, but you don't have a team, you don't have a fancy camera, and you definitely don't have a budget for a big photo shoot. So what do?
How do you even begin to compete?
The answer, my friends, is an AI creative suite. There are tools now where you can just upload a few photos of yourself, and it will train an AI model on your face. Then you can generate an infinite number of photoshoot quality images of you, in any outfit, in any setting you can imagine. It's wild. And then you can take those perfect photos and pop them into another AI tool that animates them with just a simple text prompt. All of a sudden, you have dynamic video ads. You've basically just become your own one-person ad agency.
Okay, so you've made these awesome ads. Now who's going to actually run them? You don't have time for that. Well, that's where a platform like Magics.ai steps in. Think of it as your own automated media buyer. You just give it a budget, tell it what you want to achieve, and it does the rest. It analyzes how the ads are doing, it adjusts the spending, it optimizes everything across all the different platforms. It's doing all that complex work that used to require a full-time, dedicated expert.
So just like that, marketing is pretty much automated. What's next? Operations, of course. It's time for you to meet your new AI team. First up, let's talk sales and customer support. There's a tool called Vapi that creates conversational voice agents, and they sound so human, it's actually kind of spooky. They can answer your phone, handle customer questions, and even qualify sales leads 24/7. Just think about that for a second. No more missed calls, no more support tickets piling up while you sleep. Game changer. Next, every business needs a data analyst, right? You got to know your numbers. But instead of hiring someone, you can use a tool like Julius AI. You just connect it to your business data, your Shopify store, your spreadsheets, whatever, and then you can just ask it questions in plain English. Things like, hey, how are my sales doing this week compared to last? And boom, you get instant analysis and insights. And this is where it starts to feel like we're really living in the future. There are platforms like Paperclip, which are basically agent orchestrators. What does that mean? Think of it like an AI CEO that manages all your other AIs. You just give it a high-level goal, something simple like increase our monthly revenue. And it then goes and delegates tasks to your AI marketer, your AI salesperson, and your AI data analyst. They all start working together completely on their own to hit that goal. This is it. This is the operating system for the company of one. So there you have it. We went from a bold prediction all the way to a tangible, step-by-step blueprint. We figured out the strategy, we used AI to generate a killer idea, and we've assembled an entire AI team to run the whole show. It's really not a question of if anymore, it's a question of when, and more importantly, who. The playbook is right here, the tools are available right now, so the only question left is, what will you build?